Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hello, Adi Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And today's guest is Kolaiah Fuzzy Jardine. Hi, Fuzzy.
Hello, Heidi. How are you? Great to be on here and share that it's possible, even coming from an expensive state, that you can become a successful person if you have a huge why and you take action on that why. So,
I
aloha
love
and
that.
thank you for having me on your show.
You are very welcome, and you come to us all the way from Hawaii.
Yes,
Which is
beautiful
exciting.
Hawaii.
Beautiful Hawaii. That's right. I was just there. I was actually there last year and going again at the end of the year. Love Hawaii. Very nice. And the people are wonderful. So let's first of all start with your bio so our listeners know who you are, and we're going to get into our conversation. So Fuzzy, you are the co-founder of HUI Mastermind, empowers
Yes,
Native Hawaiians and locals to build generational wealth through real estate in their homeland, the
yes,
Pono Way.
yes,
So you're a former drug addict and dealer, and you spent time in federal prison.
yes.
And now you build a multimillion-dollar real estate portfolio,
Hmm.
including 100 plus affordable homes and a 6 million rental portfolio. So first of all, well done on that.
Thank you so
Well
much.
done on pulling yourself out, and well done on making it such a success story. That's well done.
Yeah, mahalo. I'm just a local boy. I come from, I don't come from a rich family. I'm local from a town called Waimanalo, and I grew up with my single mom and my grandparents, and a lot of uncles and aunties and cousins, all in one under one roof. So it's very expensive here in Hawaii, and a lot of our friends and family we've seen today are getting priced out because of the cost of living. Everything needs to be shipped in. Of course, we're getting hit with inflation nowadays, right? What cost cheaper back then is double or triple the cost today. So, it's a little bit more challenging. And if you're in a mindset or you grew up where you're in the workforce or you're blue collar, you're stuck in that same circle. So, in order to get out of that circle, you have to change your mindset and change the circle that you were in. But it didn't happen for me like that. I went down the wrong path. I chose the people that I thought were cool, which was friends and family who got involved with drugs and alcohol. Partying was part of my life. And I made the choices that I made, caught up with me. And I ended up in federal prison because of selling drugs. And, when I sold drugs, it supplied my habit.
Mhm.
But during that time, it definitely, I had a lot of time for me to sit down and think about if I was gonna, what I was gonna do with my life. And I seen the people that were in there, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time to change, and so I started picking up books, like Robert Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins, all these self-help books, and it just started changing my mindset on how I can become a businessman or entrepreneur. And when I got out, you know, um, I could start something, start a business. So, that was my mindset going in. And I don't want to go too much into it, about the time I was in, and maybe you have some questions for me so that we can kind of elaborate on, what happened when I got out.
Yeah, for sure. So you had a change in mindset, which is
Mhm.
definitely, that's always precede anything. And you decided, you made the right decision. You made a decision you're going to be successful. And what happened?
Yeah. I mean, it it wasn't easy. I got out. It wasn't easy because I had a record, and most jobs that I went to, well, pretty much all the jobs that I went to, they slammed the door in my face because I had a record. I was thinking I was going to come out, go become a car salesman because cars, my thinking car salesmen, they make pretty good money, but every dealership that I went to slammed the door in my face. Sorry, Mr. Jardine, you have a record. We can't hire you. And it just, started getting, I started getting, like, wow, nobody's want to give me a second chance, and I didn't stop though, right? I didn't stop because I knew I needed to get back on my feet. So I ended up, linking up with one of my friends who had a window cleaning company. So I started there at $9 an hour. You and I know $9 an hour does not, especially in this
Yeah.
state, $9 is almost we're almost at $9 a gallon for gas now. We're about 5.50 for gas in Hawaii. But I got the job and I just started from the bottom and worked my way up to a manager position. But I also got a second job, which was a surfing instructor in Waikiki, which was awesome because I got to meet a lot of people. So I had started, building my credit back and then started getting some money. And it was a blessing that my mom, I didn't, break ties with my mom or burn bridges with my mom. She was always there for me, and I was able to stay at her house in the meantime until I got myself back on my feet. So ended up getting the third job as a valet driver. So I had three jobs, but no time. And I was following the footsteps of work hard to make money, right? And also,
Well, it got
that's
you to a certain point. I mean, it
right.
definitely was a start. You were willing to do whatever, and it got you to a certain point. So definitely, there is definitely something like there is a virtue in that and something to
Yes.
say about it.
Well, I had grit, right? And I had a why. I needed to get myself back on my feet. And I knew that I wanted to, I didn't want to live with my parents, right? I wanted to have my own house. So my goal was to, eventually buy my own home. So, while I
But
was,
again, you had also the persistence because others could have gone
yes.
back to crime because then they could have.
Well, I did kind of slip a little bit. I was going backwards. I started drinking again and, hanging around with the wrong people again and, got in a little bit of trouble, but, got a slap on my wrist. And then that moment, I was like, okay, you know what? You got to really wake up, like, because you want to spend the rest of your life back, going in and out of prison. So, that really made me get back into gear. But while I was locked up, there was this guy named Joe who he was white collar crime guy who didn't I think he went in for tax. He didn't pay his taxes. And he was a real estate, investor. And he taught the class about real estate 101. And that's where I started learning about real estate on how to house hack, right? You buy a house that's busted up, you live in it, fix it up, and then when you sell it after 2 years of living in it, you don't have to pay 250K capital gains tax if you're single, and then 500K profit if you're married. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do when I got home, but that didn't happen, right? Because it just, I didn't have the right team or circle when I got out. And I was searching, but there was nothing until just I was at the point where I had the three jobs, okay, and I was looking for something else. I needed to make in my mind, I needed to make 100K a year. And one of my friends was a pilot, so he ended up telling me, go to this school, right? And then go to the bank and go get a loan so that you can pay for the school. And that's what I did. I went to First Hawaiian Bank and they had a Oha Malama loan. And because I had the job, I had the credit, I was able to get the loan for 20,000 for like 4%. It's like, yes, okay, I'm gonna go, maybe go start this career as a pilot. So excited, I get out of the bank, go into my car, and I'm driving. Something happened. The commercial came on and said, "Hey, we're coming to your town. We're looking for a few people to be part of our team. we're fixing, we're on HGTV, flip this house, and we buy houses, we fix them up, we use other people's money, and we flip them and make a profit. We're looking for you. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. So I went to the event. At the end, lo and behold, the whatever they said, there was a surfer guy. I'm a surfer guy with his family, and they sold the dream, right? And I bought into it. So instead of paying the 20 grand for my pilot education, I ended up paying for the Fortune Builders, which was a program who came in for a lifetime. Plus, I had to pay 6 grand more, so it was like 26,000 for the real estate education to be part of their team. Fast forward today, I've built over 150 plus houses, affordable homes on the Big Island for our local community. And then I also built a rental portfolio where I rent to local families on Section 8 or on HUD subsistence, right? And I'm still doing it today. And then also became I created a coaching program with a business partner who she's from Maui. She's another real estate investor that we help other locals learn how to get involved with real estate and create generational wealth for their family. So that's the
It's
whole
incredible.
story.
It's an incredible success story of learning, doing, and applying basically, and having the grit to do it. I love that. We are all about documentation and documenting processes and procedures and creating systems, and we work with many property management companies. So what did you learn throughout creating a business? Because you are an entrepreneur. You have a big portfolio of rental homes. You fixed homes, you build homes, and now you're coaching as well. What is the importance of having well-documented systems for success of the business?
Yeah, I mean that is the most one of the most important things, right? You gotta document everything throughout the whole process. In the beginning, you wear most of the hats. I wore most of the hats. And if you don't run your business like a McDonald's or with systems in place and the right people that fit those hats, businesses will fail, right? My business is running on the Big Island without me, whether I'm here or not, because I have systems in places, right? Yes, I spend a little bit of time to, okay, look for opportunities to buy land, to build the houses, but I have all the contractors in place who understand that I've been working with for, it's been about what, 13 years now I've been doing this. And, it's the same thing, same areas, same house that I'm building. We have pre-approved plans, which we get building permits quicker than most people because it's just a system that I created and I just rinsing and repeating over and over and over. So it's very important to have like almost like I said earlier, like a McDonald's, right? Everybody has a position in any business that can be replaced. So if someone is messing up or is not doing the job, you can always replace them with someone who's an expert in that position,
But
right?
we have the systems documented, you can do
Right.
that.
Yes. And
Absolutely. I agree.
yeah.
I agree 100%. And that's a great example.
Yes.
So, Fuzzy, if people want to get a hold of you, they're listening to this podcast right now and they want to get a hold of you, they want to know more about you or talk to you, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can find me on fuzzyjardine.com. I have a website there. We also have a YouTube channel called Investing in Hawaii, right? You can reach me there, or Instagram is where I'm always posting, right? Instagram, I'm under HIFUZZ. Or if you want to, get a book at 99 cents, I wrote a book called Priced Out of Paradise, how to build wealth investing in real estate, the Pono Way. So it's 99 cents on Amazon for Kindle. And then the hard copy is, I think, $20, but 99 cents is a deal. It's
All right, so
free.
go ahead, go. I mean, definitely encourage our listeners to do that. Definitely go and get the money. And then before we end off, can you explain to us the Pono Way? What does that mean?
Yeah, so the Pono Way is basically doing things the right way. Without, I would say, like, for me, like one of my first deals when I got involved with real estate, we helped a lady that couldn't pay for her mortgage, right? We helped her get into an apartment. We helped her fix up her place. In fact, we bought the place from her. We did a owner finance. So we gave her upfront money and then money in the back after we fixed it up. So we didn't take advantage of her because most in this business in real estate, there's, people who think about money, which is okay, right? And then people who have aloha or do things the right way and not, she could have been left on the street with nothing,
Yeah.
but she ended up walking away with, more than and in fact, she walked away with being being solid. Okay, so that's what the Pono Way means.
That's fantastic. So beautiful. All right, Fuzzy. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. It was a great conversation.
Thank you, Addie. Mahalo, and the choices you make today will determine what happens tomorrow. And I made bad choices, but I made the choice to not make bad choices and now, and I'm in a better place today. So make the right choices, and you'll see success.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.